Hello, everyone. I'm doing a bit of daytime drinking today, which is kind of a weird experience for me. But hey, here I am. The drinker is here for open bar number 72, last orders. Obviously, we got loads of super chats that came through on the night. Just didn't have time to get through all of them. So here I am. I'm going to do my best to answer them. So let's get right into it, shall we? Avarith says, Drinker was coming back from the bar and decided to watch the Marvels. The bar was more fun. It definitely was, yeah. That applies to most movies these days, really. Roger Rubio says, just got a ticket for Marvels tomorrow. I'm literally the only ticket for the show, and I'm using my free birthday movie ticket, so they're not even getting my money. Instead, here, have $10. Nah, thank you, man. And, well, I hope it was worth the price of a free admission, because, damn, that movie was a slog. Avarith also says, also could have watched Lord of the Rings extended in the theater, so all of you better have watched the Marvels. Ugh, yeah. Man, the Lord of the Rings extended cuts are just amazing. I want to see them theatrically. That would be an awesome experience. I've watched through them with Mahler and the EFAP guys, but seeing them on the big screen is just something else. You know, it's a really special experience. Charles Hurst says, "Howdy, gents. Not that you need anything else for the watch list, but have you seen the show Lawmen, Bass Reeves? I'm only one episode in, but it's great so far." Not really heard of that one, mate. I'm sorry. I guess I can add it to my list of recommendations. Hacky Smack says, legendary cast. Thank you. And yeah, we had a great cast of people on that night. It was good guests. Imagine Ali says, Imagine Alien. I just wanted to say I loved seeing Mahler on Star Wars Theory's channel having a quality debate. You and Theory were class acts. I miss seeing friendly discourse like that in film and nerd community. It is good, yeah. You can always rely on Mahler to have like a civilized discussion with someone, even if they disagree. So it was very good. I actually had a chat with Star Wars Theory myself, like, offline. And he's a really good guy. Like, I think it would be interesting to build more bridges, I guess, with that side of the community, because, if you're just in an echo chamber the whole time and everyone just agrees with you, it's not terribly fun. So, yeah, it's good to have a bit of discussion going on. Avarith says, this film was designed to fight Mahler. Every single use of the power switch rule was inconsistent. Not a single use of the powers followed the rule. Pretty much, yeah. The movie just did whatever it felt like doing at any particular time, whatever was convenient to the plot. They just did it. So, it's the sort of thing that would drive Mahler crazy if he even cared about the film, but clearly he doesn't. These movies are not even worth analysis at this point. Metal Demon says, love all of you. Keep doing what you're all doing. Thank you very much, and we will. Alchemist365 says, greetings, drinker. Just wanted to say thank you for all of your awesome open bars. I've watched all of your videos on both channels. Cheers to the bar. Thank you very much, man. And I'm glad you've been enjoying my content. I'm just kind of aware, actually. It's pretty dark in here. Hold on. I'm going to open a blind. I'm going to open a window and try and let some extra light in. Bear with me 1 second. That's better. I even made a greyhound appear. Look, Smokey, how's it going? Hey, the critical doggo is in the house. There he is. Look at the camera. See? Everyone's there. You're on screen. This is your time to shine. All right, cool. Now I need to get back to my super chats. Stop trying to eat my microphone. Yeah. All right. Go and lie down in your dog bed. Okay, anyway, where were we at? Yeah, Castigan says, everybody is in place. Let's go. Nice. Thank you, man. Jolly Roger said, do you lads know Cavill's Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie? I really like it. When will we see Cavill interview Drinker? I would love to have Henry Cavill on. That would just be fantastic. Don't think it's ever going to happen somehow. But yeah, I've seen Man from U.N.C.L.E. and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And, a lot of people view it now as like the dry run for how Cavill playing Bond. Obviously, he's never going to get to play Bond because that would make too much sense. But it's nice to dream, I suppose. Next one is not Kevin Feige. Says, our next marketing tactic is you've got to go to the cinema to see how shitty this movie is. Please go see it, chat. Bob Iger is really mad at me. I don't think it worked. Sadly, not Kevin Feige, because since we did that open bar, we've obviously had the box office in for the Marvels, and its opening weekend was disastrous, below even the extremely low expectations that they set for it. I think it was 47 million domestic, which is nightmarishly bad. That movie, Muller and I joked about it. He thought it could potentially be sub 350 million. And I scoffed at the time. Scoffed, I say. I thought, no way. It's got to get to at least 400 million. It is still a Marvel movie, but it's looking like it could be considerably less even than the 350. So who knows where it might end up? It could be below 300, in which case the damage control and the cope for that is going to be legendary. Damn, that's some good coffee. Anyway, next question is Intelligent Crayon Eater. He says, so the MCU is now for cat ladies and wine aunts, just like the failing Marvel comics have been. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? It really is. It's really just a case of know your fucking audience, man. Like, Chris Gore just summed this up perfectly. He said that the real problem that they've had is that they've tried to turn a boys brand like Marvel and Star Wars into a girl brand. They've tried to make it for girls. And it doesn't work. You're not going to attract that audience. The girls who already like the MCU, they like it for the reasons it was successful with everyone, because it had awesome kick-ass heroes, male and female, and didn't try to pander to people. That's it. You're not going to suddenly attract score or droves of women to this franchise at this point by trying to pander to them with cheap crap like this. So, yeah, they've learned that lesson, I think, slowly. Kobish Joubert says, 2019, saw your Captain Marvel video, Drinker. I subbed and thought, wow, this guy's great. I'd love it if he spoke to my favorite YouTuber, Mauler. And here we are now. Yep, it's been quite a journey. Yeah, man, like meeting Mauler for the first time actually and chatting to him was a really cool experience, because I was a big fan of his content, way before my channel ever took off. And I was very much like the fan meeting the celebrity almost in a way. But yeah, as it turned out, we got on rather well. And now here we are doing a weekly live stream and hanging out. So it's all good stuff, man. M8566 says, in a hysterical cry, well, she. Love that one. Albert Nada Retro says, been looking forward to this show. Thank you. I hope we provided some entertainment for you. Wayward Astronaut says, Jeremy Johns opened his review asking if the movie was written by AI. How does it feel to live in a universe where scripts are so bad that they fail the Turing test? It's fantastic. Yeah. This is where entertainment is now. And yeah, honestly, it feels so generic and so predictable that it's like they got an AI to write it and they didn't even bother checking it or anything. They just went with it as it was. Yeah, disaster. Avareth says, was Guardians 1 happening during the Kree Civil War? No idea. The timeline on this is fucked. I've got no idea when any of this stuff was meant to be happening. Chris Nicholson says, this just in, Kevin Feige says that one of the strengths of the Marvels is that it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Well, son of a gun. I wasn't excited before, but now I'm all in. Yeah, man. Basic 3-act story structure. What a revolutionary idea. 50 Shades of Grayson says, Brie Larson is AI. Don't be fooled by the fun bags. I think an AI would have been more charming. Kira says, we need Arnie to talk the bad guy down. You got what you wanted. Give these people air. That was from Total Recall. Yeah, that was he was trying to convince Cohagen to let the people go. We did need him, actually. That's such a shame. Why did we never get Arnie in a superhero movie? He feels like he was tailor-made for that kind of stuff. I mean, I know he was in Jingle All the Way where he played Turbo Man. That's about as close as he's gotten. Mr. Bentham says, wouldn't it just be easier to go to a new planet? Yes, it would be a lot easier, in fact. But that's not what this story's all about, I guess. It's about... No, I got nothing. Nobody knows what this story's meant to be about. Dermy Wormy says, the theme is Black Girl Magic. That is true, yeah. Use that Black Girl Magic to fly. I don't know if they can all do that or what. Alex Wisecup says, Arcane Season 2 release was just announced. We'll get it in November of next year. Can't wait. Yeah, likewise. Very impressed with Season 1. Hopefully Season 2 is equally good. Slightly concerned that it's on a truncated timetable because I'm sure the first season took several years to develop. Like, they really took their time with that one. And this one's obviously a bit more rushed to capitalize on the momentum, but hopefully they can maintain that level of quality. Imagine Alien says, love how the actors are on strike because of AI and thinking it'll destroy Hollywood. Meanwhile, Dar-Ben accuses Captain Marvel of ruining her world by destroying AI. Yeah, isn't it funny? It's funny as well because destroying the AI didn't destroy the world. Like, the Kree being so dependent on it is what destroyed them. And apparently they had a civil war which caused the sun to burn out. I don't know. Did they like use the sun to fuel their war somehow? Who knows? Intense Subject says, Drinker, by any chance will we get a Anya spin-off series? Take all my money. Cheers, everyone. Like an Anya series of books or movies. Either way, it's an interesting thing to consider, I guess. I mean, I really like the character, and the end of the Ryan Drake series kind of leaves it open as to what she's going to do next. Like, I kind of saw her story as being concluded with this series, mainly because, you know, she's found a measure of peace now with her life and who she is, and she's trying to move away from this life of really just constant survival that she's been in. She's been in survival mode for like the past 20 years, essentially, through all the things that she's been subjected to. I'm not really sure where I would take her story from there. Also, she's considerably older at this point, so you might have to do like a floating timeline where the characters mysteriously don't age, you know, because beyond a certain point, it's just not practical anymore. But I don't know. I could definitely do like a prequel series of books about her time in Afghanistan, all that sort of thing. I think that could be quite interesting. We kind of know the outline of the story, but we don't know the details of what went on there. So that could be an avenue to pursue. Avarith says, this film is the definition of off-screen is pause. What? Albert Nada Retro says, the overall point is put a chick in it and make her gay and lame. From what I'm hearing, mission accomplished. Yeah, I don't think any of them are gay. It's sort of implied that maybe Captain Marvel is a little bit for Valkyrie, or Valkyrie is for her. I don't know. Nor do I particularly care. But they're definitely lame. Above High Ground says, hey, Drinker and Co. Just wanted to know, what your thoughts are on Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. If you've seen it, certainly one of the movies of all time. I'm going to be totally honest. Never gave a shit about Pee Wee Herman. I don't know what the appeal was. I don't know why people found him funny, but yeah, not really for me, I'm afraid. Ray Kennedy. Hail Drinker, just wanted to recommend a casual video called Possum by Randowis, an AI written story based off only 3 words. All I could think afterwards was that it sounded like a modern Disney script. Good for a laugh. Man, I've got to check that one out in that case. It's amazing you can generate an AI script from 3 words. Needhogger says, hello, Drinker and Muller. I'm here again to recommend you to watch Black Sails. Perhaps watching a good show about pirates will help you to endure all these crap Marvel movies. Yes, I've heard nothing but good things about Black Sails, and I like pirates, so one day I'll get around to it. Darren Bennett says, D-Day Cobra, thank you for all your hard work. Yes, he does work extremely hard, and we're all grateful for him. It was great to have Jeremy on. And yeah, I'm sure he does like 3 live streams a day or something crazy like that. His schedule's insane. Benjamin says, I'm proud of Kamala for being a teenage American Muslim who wants to make things better. I'm with you, Kamala. Right, okay. Fair play. Normie says, I'm so excited to discover I'm a superhero. I have the same power as Monica Rambeau. I too can see light. I know. It's crazy. It's like we can all do that. What's this one? It's not showing up with a name here. That's weird. Taylor Swift is greater than Disney, Star Wars, and the MCU. I mean, her movie's doing better, I think, than any of the stuff they're putting out. Jesse George says, I enjoyed your interview with Ben Shapiro. What was it like meeting him in person? Pretty cool. He was extremely busy and extremely high energy. Like when I met him, he just got off the phone to someone. He'd been outside, and then we kind of got set up for the interview. And he's just very chatty. We chatted about Star Wars and Marvel and a bunch of like modern movies and things like that. And just a pretty regular guy. He said it was actually a relief to just talk with someone about normal stuff and not be like, having to deal with World War III or like constant doom and gloom and politics and everything. So, hey, I provided some light relief for him. But yeah, very personable chap, I guess. Dave Dahl says, Walt Whitman wrote my captain for Abraham Lincoln after his assassination. Hearing it dropped like that was nauseating. Yeah, crikey. Yeah, it was a bit cringe in the movie, for sure. Burns Reviews says, glad to see I'm not the only one being blackballed exclusively from Disney titles. Going on 3 years now. PR teams are funny, aren't they? Feels cozy here with you guys. Mind if I pull up a chair? Feel free, man. And yeah, you're welcome you're welcome at the bar anytime. Gunnar says, Captain Marvel is lame-coded. That is true. Benjamin, there is no romance, and I agree. Even with Star Wars and Marvel, I've been wondering when romance is going to appear. There's no sex or excitement with these social justice warriors. Don't they want to do it? I think probably it's like misery loves company. And so in their case, because they can't get any themselves, they just don't want anyone else to think about it. And so they would rather live in a sexless, genderless, passionless, funless world, rather than have other people doing stuff that they're missing out on, I think. So, yeah, it is a real missing component of these movies now. There's just no romance, there's no sexual tension, there's no attraction between men and women or anything. It's just, it's so bland and sterile. It's weird. Toilet Seatbelt says, do you guys have guns? What do you got? I don't know about the others. I'm sure Mauler and I, being Brits, we do not have guns because they're basically impossible to get over here. Yeah, no idea what the American guys have got. Maybe they're packing. 2% Right says, totally off topic, but need to spread the word about a small literary sci-fi fantasy convention in Tennessee in March, Confinement, organized by best-selling author Michael Z. Williamson. It's confinementcon.org. Thanks. Okay. Well, if you like sci-fi conventions, then check it out, I guess. Josh Kelsey just gave me $20, so thank you very much. Deez Webos says, this is what happens when you give women rights. No, never should have given them the vote, damn it. TKSCZ says, in the books, Monica's powers are to become or produce any radiation and energy she wants or knows of. Hate to see she's been nerfed to I can become wavy and go through things. Yeah, that's pretty much all she does. So that's like, so she could produce, I don't know, gamma radiation and just fire beams of it at people and just instantly like melt them. Is that her power? Because that seems like really fucking dangerous. In which case, that would be quite cool. I'd like to see that on screen. Sonny Close says, Godfather 4 pitch, hear me out. J.J. Abrams directs, they bring back Sonny Corleone after being shot like 500 times. I'm sure JJ could figure something out. He's gay now, and Sofia Coppola girl bossies for 4 hours. Oh, God, I still remember her performance from Godfather 3. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. Yeah. Weirdly, actually, I was talking to Muller a few months ago about this on stream, and it's like, people asked us, like, what's a movie that you don't like but is insanely popular? And my contrarian opinion was The Godfather. In a sense, like the Godfather trilogy, not because I think they're bad movies. I think they're excellent movies. But at the time, just wasn't that into like mob movies and mafia stuff and gangster stuff. And so like the premise just didn't appeal to me. But randomly rewatched The Godfather like a few weeks ago. And man, my appreciation of it totally changed. It was a weird experience. It was like I stopped viewing it as like a mafia movie and saw it more as like an epic family drama. And when you see it in that context, it just it clicked. And yeah, I really like totally changed my opinion of the film. So yeah, I'm kind of I've come around to the Godfather way of thinking. Yeah, it might be interesting to actually to do a video about it. Because as far as I know, like I did some research on it, the production side of things, and man, a lot of stuff came together in a very lucky way to make that film happen. A lot could have gone wrong, and it could have completely sunk it. So, fascinating movie in terms of how it got made and like the stars in it. But hey, one day maybe. Timmy04 says, once again, I'm going to request the return of Fringold and Raggleton to the open bar. All right, yeah. Fringy and Rags. Why did I not get that immediately? Yeah, it's not been long since Fringy was last on, actually, but it's been a while since we had Rags on, so we'll see what we can do. MTH says, film threat. Do you want strong characters and story, or is sexiness all you care about? It's people like you that give Hollywood wokers the fuel. Yeah, I'm sure he wants both. Like, there's no reason you can't have both. Yeah, like I was speaking about before, when you've got movies that just have no emotional connection between characters, no romance, no sexual chemistry, nothing, it feels so sterile and empty. And it cuts into your enjoyment of the film because it loses that human element. So there's no reason you can't have either like attractive characters or characters with chemistry sexually, but also have them be interesting, well-developed, well-rounded characters in their own right. Like both of those things can happen. Michael Lee says, even Chris saying Steve Rogers is the kind of guy who'd jump on a grenade for his friends almost brings a tear to my eye. That's how powerful and well-developed those characters were compared to now. Yes. Captain America or Steve Rogers, he is the prototype, like for just a person who's a hero at their core, you know. And I think it's such an interesting way he comes into his powers, because with superheroes, I guess the idea is that they always have to lose something in order to gain their powers, or they undergo a fall before they rise up again. So, like in Tony's case, he gets mortally injured, and has to have this arc reactor to keep him from, keep the shrapnel from getting out of his heart or getting into his heart and killing him. And that ultimately sparks the Iron Man suit. And like he went through a lot before he became Iron Man. Thor got his power stripped away from him and cast down to earth because he was arrogant and full of himself, and didn't take his responsibility seriously. But in Steve's case, he was already in the fall, if you will. He was already weak physically, and beaten down by people, and not respected in life. He couldn't do the things he wanted to be able to do, and but he had a good heart. He had a heroic sense of being willing to sacrifice himself for something bigger, and that's what made him a hero. And he ultimately got rewarded for it. So, yeah, a great character, and we just don't get things like that now. What do we get now? It's like my bangle that gives me magical powers got mailed to me, or I walked through an energy barrier and that just gave me superpowers for some reason. Yeah, great. Steel Manning says, so the villain in the Marvels is Carmen Sandiego. Pretty much. Luis Suevas says, I'd rather register as a sax offender than register to watch this crap. Yeah, I mean, it's not good. Like, The Big Cheese says, can't wait for the Back to the Future remake where Marty McFly, using they, them, Toyota Prius, goes back to the 18th century to stop slavery. They'll do it. They will do it. Guarantee. It'll be something like that. Imagine if you went back to the 1950s now, with all the racial tensions that were back then. Imagine how they'd be foaming at the mouth to make a comment on that in the movie. They'd have to do it. Normie76 says, listening to you makes one thing clear. We need something new in Hollywood. We do. Yeah. It's long overdue. Japanese Demon Lord Lucifer says, a trailer for Avatar The Last Airbender has just been released. I will need to have a look. Nomad says, I went to high school in Colorado where Rachel Zegler's boyfriend, Josh Rivera, went. He was an annoying theater kid, but I feel sorry for the poor guy. Fair enough. Toilet Seatbelt says, Drinker, I'm curious about what you'll think of Attack on Titan when you get around to it. Its first half is pretty amazing, but I wanted to warn you against the second half as it gets progressively more ridiculous and stupid. Anyway, cheers. Yeah, I mean, I'll make my own judgment, I guess, when I see it, but I'm looking forward to it. Robert Kearney says, please give me a Shawshank Redemption or a Goodfellas movie. Screw the MCU. Yeah, I agree. We need more films like that. Gunnar says, Joker sequel. You mean the one where he thinks he's Napoleon? Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to Napoleon. Yeah, the trailers make it look pretty epic, so we'll see what they do. Glass in Rockhouse says Smokey and Lara and Pano. It's easy to see why woke propaganda movies are bad. If KK was fired, each of you were in charge, we'd all cut the message. But what creative and storytelling elements would you prioritize in Star Wars and Marvel? So, yeah, I would prioritize the hero's journey. It is so effective for building up your characters, taking them on an adventure, giving the audience a satisfying resolution. I would prioritize that. I would prioritize characters who get tested, who struggle, who fail, who have to pick themselves up and carry on. You know, all of those things are the core elements that made things like Star Wars work. And with Marvel, yeah, again, I would want heroes that were worthy of the title of hero, not just people who randomly blew up an engine and got like godlike powers given to them. I want people who struggle with their powers and what it means for them. You know, that's what I thought. Out of all the crap that we've endured recently, Spider-Man No Way Home was a pretty nice example that can still work. You know, Peter loses a lot in the course of that movie. He sacrifices a lot because that's what it means to be a hero. That's the price he pays for it. And the movie does a good job with that. I want to see more of that. Dr. Mubb says, name the source. In what media is the line, the sea is always right used? I think we all know. And it's the inferior Lord of the Rings. Fun trivia fact, this was also famously heard being shouted by the captain of the Titanic shortly before he deliberately steered into the iceberg. The sea wants me to hit the iceberg, you see. Fakili Mihizi says, House of the Dragon Season 2 is 8 episodes. I fear the writers of House of the Dragon are going to repeat the same mistakes that D&D did. Well, I mean, we'll wait and see. Like, they're not trying to like wrap everything up with that. It's just 8 episodes, and I'd rather have 8 episodes of quality than like 15 episodes of crap. So, yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt until we see it. Jay Fraser 360 says, "Hail gents, what's your favorite negative comment?" I think mine was it was something really simple. It was just like, the critical drinker is the biggest asshole on YouTube, which just impressed me by itself because it's like, well, there's a lot of assholes on YouTube, but okay, I'm the biggest. It's just non-stop negativity and complaining from this guy. Hate it. And that was actually one of the reasons, or one of the things that inspired my Drinker Recommends series. I thought, hey, this is a good opportunity to be positive about things for a change. And yeah, something good came out of that, I suppose. So that was probably my favorite one. The Big Cheese says, with all the superhero fatigue, how do you think season 2 of Invincible will do? I think it'll be fine because it's a show that always played to a core audience. Like, I feel like you had to be really into comic books and superhero movies to even consider Invincible. It's not necessarily for general audiences. And so it'll probably be fine. It's not trying to appeal to everyone. And I'm looking forward to watching it because I've really enjoyed season 1. Andrew Monpetit says, people want good stories, stakes, and characters. CGI, actors, etc. are now secondary to that, or to the movie. Good stories and characters made actors famous. This is very true, yeah. CGI spectacle just overwhelms everything. So, yeah, it's not a complex formula. It's what's worked in movies for generations. Good stories, good characters, a compelling narrative to take them on. That's all we really need. Cole Hauser says, I want Street Fighter the movie in theaters. 199 super chat. I want them too. Yeah, man, it's a classic. I want to see it back. Lee Pippin says, I heard Joker 2 is supposed to be a rock opera with Joaquin Phoenix singing. What do you guys think of that? I'm not thrilled by this prospect. The concern is that they're just going to turn it into a complete, gimmick and a joke. And I don't want to see that for the Joker. I'm still not convinced that it needed a sequel in the first place, so they're gonna have to win me over with this one. Yendor says the use of CGI in films isn't the problem; it's the misuse of CGI. In the right hands and in the right circumstances, it's a great tool. But put a skybeam in it and make it lame isn't the way to go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it can. We were rewatching the Lord of the Rings extended editions recently, and perfect example of using CGI relatively sparingly. They used a lot of miniatures, actually, which people kind of forget about. But yeah, a lot of it was just filmed on location. So it looks great. They can CGI in big fortresses and castles off in the distance, that sort of thing, and big giant armies that would be impossible to make practically. But they never overuse it, and that's the key difference. So yeah, I agree. Like CGI by itself is not a bad thing. It's just when you rely on it, that's when it all goes wrong. Carrier Buff says 150 to 250 million dollars. That's his prediction, I think, for the Marvels. It can't be under 250. Surely. I mean, it's already at like 120 million, so it's got to at least get to that. 5280 Drone says, talk a bit more about what you thought of Oppenheimer. I mean, I don't know, man. We've already covered it at great length on Open Bar and our various other streams. Like, I'm sure EFAP have covered it. I don't know what I can add to the discussion at this point. It's a good movie. I thought it was perhaps a little long and could have ended sooner, but overall, it's not one of Christopher Nolan's bad movies. I'll put it that way. Fakili McKeezy says, is Mauler in Din Djarin's Mando Creed? Yes, he never takes the mask off. Taker 610, Ms. Mauler gender swap incoming. It might happen. The Burke. My favorite part of the Marvels was when the portal opened, everything went quiet as we slowly zoomed into black until the quietest moment we heard, it's Morbin time. That was my favorite moment too. It was great. T-Rex says, Disney sent me an email saying they were raising our sub fee. I cancelled straight away. Was able to pay off 2 different stream subs with that savings. Money well spent in that case then, man. Keep it up. Alex Fascist says, my offering to the critical deity. Mauler's the only eldritch being. He's the deity in our team. But yeah, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Nicholas Keffer says, hail to the panel. Sorry to kill the mood, but my fiance of 3 years left me a few days ago. I'm okay, just a bit sad. What are some wholesome movies you'd recommend for a broken heart? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, that sucks. But wholesome movies. I don't know, man. It's too early for Christmas films. That's the problem. We're only in mid-November, so I can't really recommend them. Maybe something like Groundhog Day or something like that. Just a bit of fun. Or Ghostbusters, something like a comfort movie. And damn, my phone's going off. That's the last thing I need to be dealing with right now. Anyway, that was probably Disney on the phone telling me to shut up. Something like that, I guess. They're just comfort movies that never go too far wrong. I suppose they always entertain. Fakili McKeezy says, rank these YouTube channels that make fun of movies. How It Should Have Ended, Cinema Sins, Pitch Meeting, and Honest Trailer. Oh, tough one. I'd probably put Pitch Meeting first, then How It Should Have Ended, then Honest Trailer, and then Cinema Sins. But it's tough. Cinema Sins is definitely at the bottom, but the other 3 are pretty close. Grendel Vivat says, Drinker means MCU Star Wars crossover as a joke, but Ahsoka introduced casual travel to other galaxies. Modern Hollywood is indistinguishable from parody. I said this to Mauler once on one of these catch-up streams. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if the fucking Millennium Falcon malfunctions, or they hop aboard another space whale, and they arrive in a new galaxy. They land at the nearest planet, get off, and fucking Iron Man is there to greet them. That feels like the level that they would just descend to at this point, Dexy Deans says, Slange, gents, Reacher Season 2 looks promising for some Christmas viewing. About time for Prime. Yeah, I would say so. Reacher Season 1 was pretty good stuff, so I'd be keen to see it again. Tank Muso says, Japanese trailer only shows the white girl. Why? Why indeed? Art Gaines says, remember to eat potato chips during Death Note. Noted. Mr. Malok says, I came from the John Campia channel, and he says the MCU needs to make better stories, and I'm like, the MCU needs to stop with their political agendas and stop with all the feminazi bullshit. I mean, that is true. So, yeah, how about doing both? How about get rid of the pandering and give us better stories? Then people will be happy. Mike the Random Guy says, as a big fan of Asimov, I wonder what is the reason that nobody talks about Foundation as another example of not giving a fuck about the source material. Probably because, well, personally, I'm not familiar enough with it to comment on it, so I just I'm not well positioned to do a review of that. Spencer Jones, I'm an indie film editor, have a ton of friends below the line and above. Most of us have been fucked for a while. January is always the slowest month too. Stuff will be back in February. Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. I know the Hollywood kind of winds down in November anyway. Like, they certainly don't commission new productions or anything at this point in the year, because what's the point? You're just going to have to shut down for Thanksgiving, and then a few weeks later, you're going to have to shut down for Christmas. So it tends to be January, February when they start to pick back up again. So it was weird. I don't know what the pressure was to try and get the actors' strike resolved before the end of the year, because it's not going to make much difference. Like, they're not going to be able to work on much, really. Zach Boyles says, war is our shared value. Fair play. Mad Bruce Wayne says, Muller, what do you think of Bly Manor's ending? I thought it was great up until those last 2 episodes. Yeah, and me and Muller have debated this a little bit. I wasn't keen on the ending. I especially fucking hated that they chose to throw in an extended 20-minute flashback right at the climax of the story when there was a whole bunch of action going on. I can't think of a worse way to kill the pace than by doing that. And yeah, the story just meandered on for essentially a whole other episode after that. And it just felt like the show just didn't quite know how to end itself. And it's a shame, because some of the stuff in that was good. But yeah, Bly Manor is definitely not my favorite of Flanagan's. Skip Cole says, Mouse Utopia 25 comes to mind. Please look it up if needed. Mice, when given everything, lose their instincts and die off. A colony of 2,000 mice all dies off. Seems that humans cling to their instincts. Maybe we are smarter. Yeah, I've seen the mouse experiment. It was terrifying stuff, actually. Yeah, you put them together in a crowded area, give them all the food and supplies that they would need. And in theory, they should just keep multiplying exponentially, but they don't. Eventually, they lose interest, and the whole thing just kind of collapses. And it's very weird how they behave. And it does make you wonder, as a species, perhaps we're not designed to be crowded together in the tens of millions into these massive urban areas where you're never away from other people. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I would fucking hate to live in like a big high-rise apartment block where you've just got people around you all the time. Yeah, I personally, like, I need space. There's times when I just need to kind of get away from other people and be by myself. And if you can never get that, I think it would just slowly drive you insane. T-Rex says, superhero pitch, super person starring Megan Rapinoe. Do it. I would say her football career is pretty much done. She's like 45 years old or something. Social Morlock says, Jet Li's The One is the best multiverse film ever. Is that where he just fights more of himself? I think so. Yeah, I kind of remember that, actually. Marcus 1999 or 1990 says, Panel, favorite Legend of Zelda games and why? For me, it's probably A Link to the Past, because I kind of only played them in the early days and then stopped. Ocarina of Time is meant to be amazing. Never really got around to playing it, so I'm not sure what the other guys would say. Breath of the Wild's meant to be good as well, is it not? Mike Morgan says, glad to see EFAP on Stitch and Adam. Nice. Dineska says, shout out to the drinker from the Caribbean. Oh, you bastard. I'm not jealous at all that you're in the Caribbean right now. A French overseas department called Guadeloupe. How does it feel to be the world's most famous alcoholic? It feels amazing. I'm representing alcoholics everywhere. And yeah, I'm very jealous of where you are right now. The fan with no name says, Jared Leto is climbing the Empire State Building. What? Okay. The Arch Templar says, Hail Drinker and Panel, here's some movies I watched recently that I think are up your alley and to maybe watch and review. Let's see where the next one is. Battle Royale, The Man Who Would Be King, Where Eagles Dare, and The Right Stuff. All good movies. I've reviewed Battle Royale on a happy hour, so I've talked about that. The Man Who Would Be King is Sean Connery and Michael Caine, and I remember that being really good, actually. It had a pretty unexpected ending. Where Eagles Dare, I've reviewed that. Fucking classic war movie, one of the best. Love it. And The Right Stuff, haven't reviewed that yet, but it is very good. Bone Splinter says, Drinker, what do you think about Insomniac ruining Black Cat and forcing more MJ missions rather than focusing on Black Suit Spidey? Yeah, did they not straight up say, like, we knew it was pointless doing these stealth missions with her, and we knew people wouldn't like them, but we just wanted to do it anyway because we felt we wanted her to look more powerful. Sure. Okay, if that's your reason, great one. It's not because you had a good story to tell or anything. It's just we wanted MJ to be more than a damsel in distress, I guess. Bitones says, do you guys think Kathleen Kennedy will ever step out? And if she does, the next person will still use the Pander Stone, or there's a chance for someone like Jon Favreau? She will go when she is good and ready. I think her contract expires next year. So as far as I know, she's kind of scheduled to step down then, but she can't be fired. I don't think. She is essentially untouchable at this point. It's just a question of how much damage she's going to do before she goes. I mean, we've still got the Acolyte to come out. I think once she's out, unless she makes this a condition of leaving, like they're contractually obligated to do it, I think the Rey movie will get quietly cancelled, and probably most of the other projects that she's commissioned that are in the pipeline, because I think they know how shit she is, and how bad an idea this stuff is. Yeah, so that's probably what's going to happen realistically. Jon Favreau, I don't know, he seems kind of burned out with Star Wars and seems to have just moved away from it, and I don't blame him. But maybe if he was given complete creative control, he might come back. Like Jon Favreau being like essentially the Kevin Feige for Star Wars, it could work. Jay Cornett says, who replaces Superman? I'm still for Cavill. I think most people are, yeah. I mean, we've got a new actor lined up for him, but fucking, like, I don't know how much enthusiasm there's going to be at this point for a new Superman movie. Thunderstorm says, Safety Blade starring Ned Flanders. Hey, do it. I'm all in. Gary Lean says, hey, Drinker, any thoughts on Godzilla? Yeah, Godzilla -1 looks really good. I'm intrigued and I'm looking forward to watching it. Marksman of 117B, Lord Miles wasn't stranded in Kabul. He escaped and then went back 3 times for holiday and made friends with the Taliban. They made him an honorary mujahideen. This guy is just a legend. Like, he seems to be just one of those fucking adventurers who just blags his way through life. You got to respect it. There's some balls on the guy. Like, he also says Miles was detained on his recent trip because the Russians told the Taliban secret police that Miles was a spy. Dankula's interview with Miles is amazing. Oh, has he spoken to him? Damn, I'd like to watch that. Ty Reimers says, Star Wars Theory's man in the desert desperate for water analogy should be more like seeing a man with a canteen of water handing you several bottles of his own urine. That's a pretty good analogy, actually. That's where we're at with Star Wars. Brad Wolf says, hello, Drinker and Mauler. Drinker, do you have the Texas silver coin I gave you at Anime Matsuri? Also, what are your favorite meal to have on any given day? Thank you. Wait a minute. I think I might have it somewhere here. If it's anywhere, it's probably in one of my drawers here. I feel like I saw it just recently, but I definitely brought it home from Anime Matsuri. It's just a question of finding it. But yeah, I'll need to look it out. It's definitely in like one of the drawers here in my desk, but I'm not sure which one. But yeah, thank you. It was a really cool gift, actually, and I appreciate that. My favorite meal? I don't know, for like dinner, like favorite meal is like a good steak, like a sirloin steak or something like that. But I enjoy a burger as well. Yeah. I think if I had to choose between burgers and pizzas, I might actually go for burger. But yeah, that's probably the favorite stuff. Next one is Tom Riley right now says, I don't think there's anything in his one. No, he just gave me a super chat for $2. Thanks, man. DNX says, not even lying, Ms. Marvel is the best show that I've seen. Oh, that's good. I mean, when I watched episode 1 with Az, we were just kind of bored. We couldn't really think of much to say about it. Maybe it gets better. I don't know. No one seemed to watch it, though. Tom Koch says, has anyone watched the videos by Prism? They re-edit the Star Wars sequels 7, 8, and 9, and the story they told is awesome. Give it a watch and then get drunk. Nice. Did they actually manage to make it good? Is that even possible? Alan Tanasi says, Alan in the house. All hail the 199. Nice. Rated M says, Muller, thoughts on the Slayers audiobook that came out? Story in the Buffyverse without Joss. An interview I saw made it sound like identity politics. Also, please can you watch the Star Wars video by Prism? yeah, so everyone seems to be liking that. And yeah, I'm not sure if Mahler's seen that audiobook there. Stu Cheeks says, the problem with Marvel movies comes down to this. They're not made to be rewatchable. They're simply content for the sake of content. All the great movies have something in common. They're timeless. That is absolutely true, yeah. And I never feel compelled to rewatch a Marvel film. You just, it's like a Big Mac. You eat it, you dispose of it, and that's it. Move on with your life. They certainly don't stick with you. Ty Jordan says, somehow the actors have returned. I know. I mean, it's taken them like 5 months, but they're back. And it was glorious during that time, actually. We didn't have to listen to any of their bullshit. It was great. And Hastur says, loved seeing Mahler on Star Wars Theory. It's awesome to see Tyrone on the show. All hail the 199. Cheers to the Critical Drinker and Chris Gore. Keep pushing it, brothers. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, it was great to have everyone on. But anyway, that's the last of the super chats. So hopefully I've answered them for you to your satisfaction. Me and Smokey here are going to go and get some dinner because it's yeah, I'm hungry and I've been doing this for a while and I've not had a chance to eat today. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, for now at least, that's all I've got for today. So go away now.